Hi everyone, I'm from England, 41 years old, in 2025, and I fully transitioned in 2022. Let me start by explaining I am totally stealth, which is why I have agreed to a written testimonial rather than the usual videos, etc. I know this can lead to doubts about the authenticity of this testimonial, which is why I have agreed with JaneMED that I can and will be available for video calls with anyone who wants to discuss or hear from my experiences in Mumbai, India. I just don't want my face to be permanently on YouTube, etc. I will speak honestly and brutally about the good parts and the bad parts. I know how frustrating it can be trying to decide where to go, who to trust, etc. I first went to Mumbai, India in January 2022 for my facial feminization surgeries, FFS, and somebody sculpting by liposuction. This was all organized by a different coordinator than JaneMED, but they no longer exist, for reasons I won't go into here, that had nothing to do with the surgical quality or the recovery care. However, thankfully the exact same team of surgeons now work with JaneMED. After my FFS and body sculpting in January 2022, I was so impressed with the surgeons that I returned in April or May 2022 for my gender confirmation surgery, GCS, and breast augmentation. Finally, I went to Seoul, South Korea for my voice feminization surgery, VFS. The same VFS surgical technique that I had in Seoul is offered by the JaneMED surgical team. But I already had it planned and booked in well in advance in Seoul, hence why I didn't also have this done in Mumbai. In late 2024, I decided to start looking into what possibilities there may be for me to return to the surgical team in Mumbai for more aesthetic and corrective work. We become a bit addicted to surgeries, don't we? This was when I discovered that JaneMED had been operating for some time, filling the gap left by the previous coordinator. When I learned that the exact same surgical team were involved, I had no doubts that I was returning. Why? Well, as I'm sure you know, the surgeons are what really matter. No matter what fancy marketing, lovely websites and convincing speeches that coordinators and sales teams from anywhere in the world can give you, eventually it all comes down to the care, dedication, skill, and personal interest in your individual result that the surgeon gives to you. I can personally guarantee that, for this, you will not find better than the team from JaneMED. It is common to have complications from these surgeries. When we do our research in preparation for our medical transition, we should all realize this. It happens. It is usually nobody's fault. What can make the difference is how these are dealt with. I won't share the specifics of any complications I had here, but I did have some, and thankfully I can talk to you on a video call about how well they were handled and how incredibly amazing the end result has been. So, that's the surgeons ticked off. How about the Mumbai, India experience? I'm going to cover off Mumbai first, and then how JaneMED takes away much of what could potentially be drama, stress caused by Mumbai. If you've never been to India before, then it's probably worth me saying a few things. The traffic and driving, compared to what us Westerners are used to, is crazy. However, it works. It's best just to relax and enjoy the ever-changing sights of Mumbai and just wait until you arrive, safe and sound. In the West, we are used to a certain look or atmosphere when approaching a hospital. When I first headed into the hospital for my FFS, I thought I was entering a shopping center. But once inside, I realized it had the same functions, cleanliness, etc. that I was used to. Don't judge a book by its cover, after all. There are so many more nurses than we are used to. It's because they all have a specific function. One will do your medicines, a different one will check your vitals, a different one will empty the catheter urine bag. Again, different, but works extremely well. There is plenty of Western food outlets available, Subway, McDonald's, KFC, Domino's, etc. But these are extremely expensive and not what you want to be eating apart from on rare occasions. Embrace the culture and the food. It is perfectly safe when bought from known, reputable locations, and it really is delicious. It doesn't all have to be spicy either. There is lots to see if you want to. After arriving, the first week will be for blood tests, x-rays, surgeon consultations, etc. So there is lots of opportunity during week 1 to be taken on tours to see the sights. Make the most of it, because during recovery, you will be more housebound. However, you don't have to do this. No matter what, take plenty of hobby materials such as reading, knitting, sewing, crafts, or whatever your thing is. Right, now let's talk about JaneMED and how they make things easy. Arrival. JaneMED representative will meet you just as you exit the airport building to the public meeting area. They will have given you a landmark or shop to find, and they will be waiting there. So all you have to do is get through the airport. From that point onwards, everything will be taken care of for you. They will have organized a taxi to take you all to the recovery apartment. Enjoy the ride. Pre-surgery. The JaneMED representatives will have already coordinated various elements, but be prepared for last-minute changes, etc. Again, this is normal for India and is no reason for alarm. What you might find surprising is that you may not even need to leave the apartment for your blood tests and x-rays. They come to you. For CT or MR, eye scans prior to FFS, and those sort of imaging requirements, JaneMED will take you there, sort it all, and then take you back again. Basically, just go where and do what you're told. It's refreshing to not have to think about it at all. Food and drink. JaneMED are entirely flexible. You will be shocked at how quickly both food, drink orders, as well as groceries and the sort of things we would order from Amazon for next-day delivery, just appear at the apartment. I wanted a USB-C to HDMI cable. It arrived in less than 10 minutes. Wow! Sometimes food will be via delivery service. This is now a huge thing in Mumbai, and sometimes it will be out to a restaurant. There is a very good restaurant just a short walk away that JaneMED uses a lot, and it is fantastic. It's fully vegetarian, as are quite a lot of places in India, and arguably this is safer. But even if you're a meat lover, you'll enjoy it. Surgery. A JaneMED representative will accompany you at every step of the way. You will never be left alone, except maybe when you've sent them on an errand to get you some food. They will even be in the operating theatre during the surgery. You don't get this sort of service anywhere else. Initial recovery. JaneMED ensures that we are placed in one of the luxury rooms in whichever hospital is used. The rooms are large, clean, and have an ensuite toilet, also with a shower, but you won't need that, and are well air-conditioned too. Importantly, a JaneMED representative will stay with you even at night time. They will sleep at the hospital with you. This is very reassuring, because no matter what the time or situation, there is someone there to advocate for you and ensure there are no language barrier issues, etc. Just like at the apartment, basically anything you need will be sorted for you. I do honestly mean anything. I'm quite laid back and just read my book or watch Netflix. Feed me regularly and keep my pain under control, and I don't really need much else. But I know that other people are different, and you will be well looked after, that's for sure. Recovery at the apartment. Once you're released from hospital, your recovery isn't done. Far from it. The apartment is in a high-rise modern development, meaning you are well away from the street noise of Mumbai. This is a godsend for good quality sleep. The apartment is again fully air-conditioned and comfortable. I've mentioned before, but just make sure you have plenty of hobby-type stuff to pass the time. The JaneMED staff are lovely to talk to, and they are very relaxed and easygoing. But let's face it, when we are recovering, we often just want to rest and be peaceful. The apartment offers that for you. This is about getting you ready to go home. Any medications will be provided for you. Any attention needed from the surgeons will be coordinated. Stitch removals if necessary, complication resolution, etc. Departure. By this point in time, you'll be excited at the initial results showing through and excited to be going home. The JaneMED staff will organize a taxi for you to the airport, but usually don't ride with you as you'll be feeling more independent and used to Mumbai by then. However, if you wanted them to go with you, I'm sure they would agree. The issue is that when you get to the airport, they can't come in with you. This is just part of Mumbai Airport's security policy. So there is little point in them going with you just for the journey. Once you are home, I have many contacts who have gone to different organizations around the world, in Thailand, Spain, Brazil, USA, etc. They have all felt abandoned by their provider once they had returned home. Not the case with JaneMED. If you have any queries or concerns, all you need to do is message them, and they will work on getting the answer for you. They do not want you to feel abandoned because, being truthful, they hope that you might choose to go back there for more surgeries in future. Repeat business is, after all, the easiest sort of business to get. The other providers see their patients as a number. Trust me, I experienced the same sort of feeling in Seoul for my VFS, but luckily didn't need anything more from them. JaneMED is different. They really do understand that you are an individual, that your needs and desires are unique, and that they should be bothered about your ongoing welfare long after you have left Mumbai. So, my summary would be this. Don't believe what you might read about transition surgeries in Mumbai, India, on Reddit, or social media. If you look carefully into who is running those sites, you will realize that they are quite biased and purposefully work to put people off going anywhere else. I have had all my surgeries, except VFS, performed by the JaneMED surgical team. I am regularly told by people during their transition that I am the lifetime goal of a result, and it has all been delivered by the JaneMED surgeons, except for the sound of my voice. JaneMED can literally be the one-stop shop for everything you need or might need for your transition and happiness. My change is, to be honest, incredible. You will not find more competitive pricing anywhere. I was concerned that it seemed too good to be true, but it isn't. It's just a function of the low medical and living costs in India. Ask JaneMED for a video conference with Amy. I can't answer everything here, but on a video call I can give you more detail, and you can ask me anything you want. I have no reason to tell you anything but the truth, and I will do so, including the bad stuff to be aware of. Finally, in case anyone is doubting me, I am lucky to have been successful in my career. I am well paid and do not need extra money. JaneMED have not and do not pay me for this testimonial, or for the time I give for video conferences. The amount that they could afford to give me would be so small to my lifestyle that it wouldn't be worth it anyway. I am doing this simply because I want people like me to be able to afford the best quality, most affordable transition surgeries possible. End of. Talk to me, and I'm sure you'll believe me if you don't already. Thanks, Amy. Not my real name.
JaneMED Surgical India. Complete transition services at one place.